Welcome, everyone, to A Call for Judgment. A lot of people have been asking me over the last few weeks to cover this topic, which a friend of mine pointed out to me after I did a video on Taylor Swift a few weeks ago. And that's in regards to fans who are going to her concerts are reportedly having amnesia. That's right. They're going to the concerts and they're not even remembering going to the concert. Now you might say, what if they go to the concert and do some drugs or drink some booze or whatever at the concert so they black out and don't remember it? No, they're literally having amnesia. Now you would think that maybe this would make people more interested in learning about frequencies and how witches and spellcasters use frequencies to do mind control experiments and spell cast on people, including their audiences. And again, this is something we saw at Astroworld. You might remember when I covered Astroworld, when they were using frequencies at Astroworld that was causing what they thought was some type of paranormal breakout that was happening in the crowd. Now, we know that the people in the crowd obviously had a certain something in them that was reacting to the frequencies from the music, but that's another story for another day that you can't talk about here on YouTube, only over on my website. But Taylor Swift fans are having literally amnesia from seeing the concert, and instead of being concerned about that, this has become a phenomenon where they're actually happy and proud and think it's pretty amazing. That just shows you the dumbed down society we live in. But let's listen to Good Morning America talk about it and actually try to explain this. Well, they actually try to explain this as if it's not a big deal.
Taylor Swift and her record-breaking Eras Tour. Some fans are claiming they have post-concert amnesia, saying they're having trouble remembering any of it all too well. Well, it's a story we first saw in Time, and Stephanie Ramos has more. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello. Hi, good morning, Rebecca. Post-concert amnesia apparently is a thing. Some Taylor Swift fans are saying they had such an incredible time at her Eras concert, they can't remember parts of it, and scientists say it stems from sensory overload. There's a haze Taylor Swift fans are feeling as the pop superstar travels across the country on her sold-out Eras Tour.
The concert overall exceeded every expectation that you could have imagined to have. It's just overwhelming in the best way.
Swifties posting on social media the experience was so spectacular, they have shaken off some memories of the show, calling it post-concert amnesia.
I keep saying this happened to me. Apparently it's universal.
It's actually a neurologic phenomenon that can happen in any heightened emotional state. As Taylor Swift fans are going to this concert, there's so much to be excited about. There's so much stimuli to process for the brain, and that can actually get in the way of forming and storing memories of that concert experience.
Everyone that I've spoken with has a similar experience of like, oh, that was too good to be true. I definitely don't remember that.
To have something like post-concert amnesia is really not such a bad thing. What it means is that your brain was so present in that moment that there was so much good, fun, exciting stimuli for your brain to process that it just didn't have the energy to focus on memory formation in that moment.
An experience, something you'll want to remember all too well.
Despite how little of it I actually do remember, it was awesome, and I wish I could do it all over again.
There was just too much going on, right, George? You know.
Actually, I mean, Harper insists that she had post-concert amnesia. She was so into it. That's her story. She is sticking to it.
There you go. Doctors say it isn't a concert-specific phenomenon, by the way. It can happen anytime you're in a highly emotional state. And guys, it is not just Swifties. Some of the Beehive is reporting the same thing is happening to them after seeing Beyonce. So, George, you got to go see Beyonce. And report back to us.
Only if he dresses up. I can get Taylor Swift.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much.
So, of course, they laugh this type of stuff off because they think it's pretty incredible. They think it's a great thing. They know exactly what's going on here, okay? These people know about frequency control. They know about the things that we can't see that they do through the air. And remember, the Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2, wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. If that doesn't sum it up. People don't realize that Satan is the prince of the power of the air because They don't really understand what that even means. But if you understand frequency and radiation and the things that are going on right now in our society, then that verse will make a lot more sense to you. So, Swifties and the Beehive, who I've covered over the years, these are the people, of course, who proudly name themselves into this hive mind of worshipers of these false idols. The Swifties think it's great. The Beehive think it's great. Good Morning America thinks it's hilarious. Of course they do, because they're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you, ladies and gentlemen, not you, the listener of this channel. The people out there who are Swifties and Beehivers who think that it's great that they're getting amnesia. They're thinking in their heads that the concert is so mind-blowing that they don't remember it because it was just so good and so great. In fact, they'll go back for more and more and more and more. That's how frightening this is. But let's take a deeper dive into the story of Taylor Swift here and how wonderful this is. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour promised to be an unforgettable one, spanning an extensive schedule of 52 dates, 20 stadiums, featuring 10 albums and 44 songs, with each show lasting over 3 hours. However, several fans are now reporting signs of amnesia after attending the concert. Jenna Takatilian, a 25-year-old from New York, shared her experience with Time magazine, stating that post-concert amnesia is a real phenomenon. She explained, they're calling getting spell casted on a phenomenon. Of course, they don't believe in spell casting, yet they probably have posters in their room of Harry Potter and Cinderella and all these other things, but they don't believe in spell casting, you know? And why would these heroes of theirs ever cast spells on them? And in fact, if they did find out they were casting spells on them, they would think it was the coolest thing ever. They'd be like, I can't Taylor Swift's casting spells on me. This is great. Yep. She explained that it was difficult to piece together what she'd actually witnessed, attributing it to a possible sensory overload. It's hard to put together what you actually witness, she said. You're having all these emotions while your favorite songs are playing, and you're like, wow, where am I? If I didn't have the 5-minute video that my friend kindly took of me jamming to Better Man, I probably would have told everyone that it didn't happen. I mean, this is what we're living amongst now, ladies and gentlemen. It's no big deal you don't remember it, right? I could use examples like if I told you if you didn't remember it, you would say it's some type of traumatic event that happened to you, right? Like somebody attacked you and did something to you, and you're like, I don't remember it. I don't remember, because you blacked it out from trauma, because this is probably, one and the same with the spell casting here. And of course, you even heard Good Morning America try to say that when you're in a highly emotional state, that supposedly now when we're all in highly emotional states, we're supposed to black out and not remember it. So if you're overwhelmed and you're crying because you've just gotten engaged, or if you're emotional and you're crying because somebody just passed that you care about, apparently we're all supposed to get amnesia from it and black out and not remember it, right? So apparently those types of things too are comparable to a concert, huh? You've heard stories about people going to concerts and doing all sorts of things and putting things into their bodies and then not remembering it because they were partying. This is normal. Yeah. Okay. Another fan, Nicole Booze, no pun intended with what I was just talking about, age 32 from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, attended Swift's May 14th show in Philadelphia and described it as an out-of-body experience. She said that it felt as though the concert hadn't truly happened to her. Nevertheless, she was aware of the reality of the event as her bank account reflected the $950 spent on the ticket, serving as a reminder. Wow, that's like a round-trip vacation somewhere, the flight, $950 to go see Taylor Swift perform 3 songs so you can get amnesia and not remember it, supposedly. But another thing to keep in mind with this story, folks, is that if you Google search this, you will see all the local news affiliates around the country talking about it. This isn't just like some random thing that Good Morning America posted and Time magazine published it. Local media affiliates are posting it. So in other words, like Chicago, New York, all of these marketplaces are covering this same exact story wherever Taylor Swift is playing in concerts, and people are coming out of the venues claiming they don't remember it. So we also saw Taylor Swift a few weeks ago, which I covered, performing that ritual on stage. Remember the ritual she performed? And people in the crowd were screaming that, to summon the demons and summon the spirits. Again, Taylor Swift constantly talking about coming out of the woods, where she's referencing witches coming out of the woods. I've covered it all with her. Recently, her last song, that she had her newest music video, wearing the goat, the horned mask, and hell, and partying, and all that stuff. But again, they're not witches. They only tell you that they're witches, by the way, which Taylor Swift's another one that's admitted to being one. So You say if you're at a concert of someone you love, surrounded by thousands of very excited other people, listening to music you've got established emotional links to, that's going to be a lot of emotion happening at one time. Neuroscientist Dr. Dean Burnett, honorary research associate at Cardiff University, said, according to the Daily Mail. Pretty interesting that concerts have been going on for quite some time. And you've had like real deep Satanists like, Led Zeppelin or Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, or even Marilyn Manson, that level of Satanist. Well, they're all the same level of Satanist. So we've had all those people because, Led Zeppelin got a guy, Jimmy Page, buying Aleister Crowley's home. I mean, I'd say that's pretty satanic. All of a sudden, no one's factoring in 5G. No one's factoring in 5G combined with spells being cast and frequencies from the speakers and the frequencies from the music at which level they're played having an effect on your mind. Well, of course, those things are real. That's actual science, ladies and gentlemen. But the neuroscientists will tell us that if you go to a concert now that you really like with other people who are excited, apparently you're supposed to have amnesia afterwards. You see where this is going? This is more than just spell casting. This is frequency assault on the mind. And now that we're seeing this more and more, right, apparently, because this is not just the, what do they call them? The Swifties. It's so embarrassing. The Beehivers as well. So they're going, and it's almost like a competition now. Oh, the Beehive versus Swifties. Who can get amnesia first? You get a cookie at the end of the day. You get to go home and not remember the $1,000 you wasted on the concert, but you'll go back for more because it's a great blackout, right? I mean, what in the world are we living among? So the doctor, Dr. Dean Burnett, says as well as being exhausting for the brain, the frequencies, it's going to mean all the things you experience will have a highly emotional quality, which means nothing stands out, and that's important if you want to retrieve a memory later. So they try to explain away the amnesia almost like a jubilee in a sense, like, oh my goodness, you're overly excited. You're so excited that you black out and don't remember it. This is everything to do with spell casting and frequencies. This is basic occult practice. This goes back centuries with using music. And again, I read that quote from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Let me read it again. Wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the child of disobedience. Well, we're living amongst children of massive disobedience, and we're seeing the air being manipulated like never before, not just with chemicals from the sky that are being dropped and manipulating the air that we, the air that's coming in our bodies and touching our skin, but also the frequencies that we don't see that are getting fired and zapped at us from all different angles. But this is a great thing, right? We're all supposed to clap and celebrate because we get amnesia after spending $1,000 on a concert. Pretty incredible. So the fans of Taylor Swift getting amnesia, I know a lot of you wanted me to cover it, so I'm covering it so that you guys out there who didn't know, if you're not familiar, a lot of the videos are blocked that I've done. Well, they're all gone, but I tried to even re-upload some of the clips, whether it was John Todd talking about spell casting and music, or some of the other clips that are out there about frequencies in music, even that guy XXX Temptation, who supposedly died, talking about how he uses frequencies to manipulate people's minds. That's what he was talking about. It's probably why they whacked him. Because, you have such a dumbed down audience base. When these people start talking at just a basic level saying, hey, music is frequency, and frequency can affect your brain and affect your emotional state and can do all sorts of different things to your body, including if you hit a certain level, actually affect your genetic code, but that's another story for another day. If people actually just even at a dumbed down level start hearing this and understanding what it really is, well, then people could start waking up and actually using their brains again, but they don't want to, and they don't. They think it's more interesting that people are getting amnesia because the concert's so great, apparently, that you're getting, suddenly, this is a normal thing, by the way. This phenomenon, doctors are telling us that this is normal, that people have been going to concerts getting amnesia. Oh, no one's ever heard of that before. Oh, all of a sudden with these towers and with people with graphene, to catch my drift, black goo, and, sure, men having spells cast upon them, kind of like Astroworld. Yeah, you put it all together, you shake it all about, and you do the hokey pokey, ladies and gentlemen. And the hokey pokey, well, the hokey pokey, or should I say the pokey pokey, really started this fad with that certain, thing inside of people's bodies, and then frequencies are able to manipulate that as well. So amnesia, the newest thing that you get from concerts. Satan at it again. His fans His fans are fans of this type of music and obviously go to these concerts and don't seem to mind, aren't suspicious at all as to why they're getting amnesia. They're not suspicious, ladies and gentlemen. Wouldn't you be like highly concerned if you woke up, you didn't drink or do drugs, and you and you didn't remember the entire day or a massive part of your day, which would include a concert? Instead, they're like, this is so cool. I don't remember it because it was so good. Yeah, that's the frequency level these people are operating at. Almost like there's no brain in the head at all. Oh, right, there isn't. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you and your families.